Hey there, all you amazing people. Welcome to the video. And in this video, I want to talk about what to do if you feel like you have absolutely no control over anything that you do. When something like this happens to you, it's a massive change and it can be really quite overwhelming. And all of a sudden you're thinking, well, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling this. What is this? What's happening to my life? All this type of stuff. And it can be really distressing. And this sort of feeling like you have no control over what you do, or you have no control over the situation is obviously going to be something that's going to be the forefront of your mind. But there's no need to worry. And I'm here to reassure you that there are still a lot of things that you have control over. So let's look into that. Losing control is a symptom. Feeling like you control absolutely nothing you do and have lost control with everything is a common symptom of DPDR. It will make you feel massively overwhelmed and like you're stuck where you are with nowhere to go. Often it's this feeling of not knowing where to go and feeling stuck and, sort of having a million thoughts racing through your head is more the problem rather than actually that sense of feeling like you don't have any control. What you need to remember with any DPDR symptom is that it's just a symptom and it isn't true. Even though it feels like you have no control, you actually do. Things you have control over. You might not realize it, but you do still have control over things. You still have control over what you eat, who you decide to have in your life, when you go to bed, if you do exercise or not, how you react to intrusive thoughts, your choices. Can you see we've already identified some things that you have control over? And I guess what's most pertinent to DPDR out of all of these are the bottom two, which is how to react to intrusive thoughts and your choices. So essentially, you have a choice in how you react to intrusive thoughts and how you react to the symptoms. You have a choice in what you do. You have a choice in, when you want to actually start recovering or not. You have a choice in what you think about and all this type of stuff. So really, you actually have quite a lot of choices, even if it doesn't feel like that. When you break it down this way, you might realize that saying, I don't have control over anything is a big overgeneralization, and it's not true. This should give you some comfort and will be able to get you back to some level of control. The reason it can give you some comfort is because immediately you can see that you do actually have control over some things. So this is perhaps going to help you sort of calm down a little bit and perhaps see the situation for what it really is. Another thing you might be doing here is actually catastrophizing, jumping to the worst possible conclusion without realizing there's a million other possible conclusions that are there. But because what you're going through is so bad right now, and obviously it's terrifying and scary, naturally you're going to jump to the worst conclusion. And if you start to sort of get into the habit of always jumping to the worst conclusion, then of course it's going to feel like you're in this forever. And of course it's going to feel like you don't actually have any control. But if you can sort of take a step back and list some things right now that you do have control over, and I've just given you a few of those things, then you're going to actually realize, well, hang on a minute, that thing I'm telling myself is not true. Actually, I do have control over some things. And that's really good because now it's going to stop me sort of racing around and not knowing which direction to go. And it's going to give me some sense of certainty and stability and calm. Choice is a big thing. And we all have choices, whether you have DPDR or not. We're all making choices all the time. But if you have DPDR, it might actually feel like you don't have a choice in things, or this is just how things are. It couldn't be further from the truth. And you do have a choice with things. And one of the big choices that people sort of choose to make eventually is they get to a point where they just say, I'm going to make the choice of being responsible for my own recovery, or I'm going to make the choice of being responsible for how I want my life to be. In other words, I'm going to start kicking life around instead of letting life kick me around. If you feel like you have no control in your life right now, just say to yourself one thing: I have control over my choices. And that's true. Nobody else has control over that. You do still have control over your choices. So even if you just hang on to that one little ray of hope, and that is actually a really powerful thing too, because if we feel like we don't have choices, then you do feel stuck and you feel that you're at the beck and call of life just dumping it all on you. But knowing that you do have control over your choices is a great thing, because now you can choose to do whatever it is that you want to do. Do you want to exercise? Do you want to eat better? Do you want to seek out help? Do you want to constantly sit there with your intrusive thoughts going, I have no control over anything? My friends, I hope this vid has been helpful in regards to letting you know some things that you still have control over and about the importance of the choices that you make. And if you did like the video or learn anything, then consider liking and subscribing. That would be cool. But if not, then that's cool as well. And I'll see you next time in the next video. Bye.